When I was in high school sophomore, I dated this girl for about a year and she ended up breaking up with me because I was insecure that she was being targeted by other guys and couldn't deal with it. It was both of our first relationships, so we couldn't keep our hands off each other, and the PDA was a mess, and I cringe hard every time I look back on it and feel sorry for all the people who had to witness. I mention this to give an idea on what kind of relationship it was. After high school, I went overseas for university and met my wife, who also came from the United States and was studying at the same school. We married after university and I went to do 2 years of postgrad and we moved into my hometown. Every few months, I meet up with some of my old friends with high school and get food or go to places we went when we were kids. 2 months ago we had a meetup planned and we met up at this bar. My wife didn't come. And there was this group of about 4 girls who went to my high school who decided to join in, and I didn't know beforehand. One of the girls was my ex. She was all friendly and everything, and it was so surreal because we went no contact and all of a sudden she was very friendly, so I decided to be friendly back. When we went to sit, she decided to sit next to me and talk to me, and I was kind of uncomfortable, but I went with it. She talked about what she did in university and what her job is and told me she works about an hour away from our hometown and lives there. I mentioned I was married and live in hometown and she laughs really eerily, and one of our friends laughed and said, "The hell was that laugh?" It was weird, but I let it slide, and when it was time to say goodbye, we all exchanged our Instagrams and said our goodbyes, and some of us were hugging each other, and I reached out for a handshake with my ex and she just hugged me and squeezed me, and I was honestly not okay with that. I got home and was too shaken up and shocked with everything to tell my wife about it, and I felt like it would cause her too much worry. 2 weeks later, when I was gone for work, my ex rang on the doorbell and my wife didn't answer because she didn't recognize who it was. A week later after that, she came again, but this time said my name, but my wife didn't open the door and instead sent a screenshot from Ring doorbell and asked me who that was. I was at work, so I didn't respond, and when I got home she was pissed and demanding I tell her who that was, so I told her it was my ex, and she got mad asking me how she knows my address, and the truth is, I don't fucking know. This point my wife is pissed and yelling at me, accusing me of bringing her into our house and fucking her, so I went to my Instagram and DM'd her, "Did you come to my fucking house?" And she said she wanted to talk to me to get our relationship out of the way and put it in the past. I already put it in the past though. I was showing my wife everything and she was calming down and told me I can talk to her if I meet her at a public place and turn my phone location on while talking to her. So I did that 3 nights ago and met her at a park, and she immediately hugs me and I push her off and tell her to stop and don't do it again or I will go home. She agreed, so we started talking and she brings up how I promised her I will marry her when I was fucking 15 and an idiot like I signed it with my blood or something, and how she was saving herself to be back with me, which I doubt is true because her friend and her used to go hop bars for fun. And she was telling me I could test her out behind my wife's back and we could go from there, so I just had enough of it and left and told her I will call the cops and sue her if she comes to our property again. I tell my wife I dealt with it when I get home. Then last night she comes and rings the bell at 2 a.m. in the fucking morning and says she's pregnant and I'm the dad. I didn't have sex with her. She was yelling it really loud and one of our neighbors actually came out, and I was really sick of this shit and just called the cops. She left right before the cops came and the cops did absolutely fucking nothing. Now my wife is really angry at me, accusing me of having sex with my ex and blaming me for this whole mess and threatening a divorce if my ex isn't in jail by the end of the month. I'm so tired right now, I didn't even sleep and my wife has been constantly yelling at me and I'm just tired and can't do anything. I feel drained and need a break. You have the doorbell camera footage, right? File a police report for harassment right now. Get a restraining order. Tell everyone this woman is trying to ruin your life before she tells lies about you. She sounds unhinged, so this is probably only the start of your problems, sadly. Make sure you have a support system, including your wife. The friends would back him up too. None of this happened. Breaking this into paragraphs would make this creative writing exercise more readable. I was actually thinking the same thing. Rolling on the floor laughing. Well, that was something. Not real, but something. I like her avatar. The colors are crackin'. This reads like a child wrote it. Is it only me or is something missing, being obscured from this story? The bad formatting is cover for the plot holes in this story. File a report, get a restraining order, and hire a lawyer for a cease and desist. Block her on every account and block her from your wife's accounts. Go all out. You screwed up by meeting her alone. Now you have to fix it. This was a horrible writing exercise. Do better NXT time. Troll and bait post to paint women in a bad light. No replies, horrible storytelling, not even a throwaway Reddit name or a random generated one. This account's probably farming karma so it can go into one of those political subs. Right? I love how both women, the ex and the wife, are crazy and illogical in their decisions, and even the other girls he talks about that were at the bar and are his ex's friends are implied to be promiscuous when Op says he doesn't believe his ex is saving herself because her and her friends go bar hopping. Lol, this whole post is about hating women. Nice try though. Blaming me for this whole mess and threatening a divorce if my ex isn't in jail by the end of the month. You might remind your wife that you don't get to control who goes to jail and who doesn't. You also can't control crazy, which is what your ex is. The best you can do is hire a lawyer to send a cease and desist letter and try to get a restraining order. And file a police report. This is a great work of fiction. You should never have met your ex after she came to your house. Any attention to someone like that is an invitation. Also, your ex is likely seriously mentally ill. No contact. Call the police every time she shows up. Also, your wife has some issues too. I mean, obviously you all do. Right. How exactly could she be pregnant with his kid if they only met 2 months-ish? Prior to her saying this loudly crying. ETA. They didn't sleep together at the bar, only possible chance could have been at the damn park. Literally impossible, but I feel like something is missing. You fucked up when you weren't open with your wife about her being at the bar the night you all exchanged Instagrams. Now she's probably thinking, what else is he not open with me about? Just get a restraining order on the ex. She sounds like the type to stalk, murder. She is stalking and harassing. Call the police and file for a restraining order. Once you get rid of the ex, you should focus on the relationship with your wife. She seems quite toxic if you were in so much fear of telling her things. He met up with his ex-GF, she repeatedly came onto him, and then he gave her his IG handle. He kept all of this from his wife. Husbands cheat all the time on their wives. She's toxic for not knowing what to believe. For the problems you and your wife are having, you're mostly at fault for not communicating with her about your ex. You never even told her about your encounter with your ex until that woman had to come to your door twice. Get the footage and press charges on your ex. If nothing is done with her, then she'll do everything in her power to ruin the life you've built. She's ruining your marriage, trying to tarnish your reputation. Next thing you'll know, she'll turn your old classmates against you and get you in trouble at work. Do your old classmates know what she's doing? Has she said anything to them? Dude. No paragraphs and you didn't include a TLDR? That girl is unhinged and seriously mentally ill.
That you're here, she's cool with him leaving. She also didn't tell you about your child because she was upset with you for leaving. I mean, it's great you're spending time with your kid, but get your ass to family court and get some type of child custody situated. This woman seems to use men based on how she needs or feels about them. Edit. Oh, I had to reread it again. I got what she meant. NVM, carry on. Still go to court. Both the BF and her sound shitty. BF said he would only stay around if she didn't tell Op he had a kid. Congratulations. I had a surprise baby 20 years ago. Being a dad is fantastic. It is tough, especially with no warning. But it's fucking great. Wow, what a janky situation that actually turned out pretty wholesome. Not to be that person, but get a lawyer now. She already lied to you and manipulated you. Get ahead of everything and nail down all the details before she decides to start up again. Lying about a child isn't exactly a sign of being very stable. You need to prepare for when this goes south so you don't lose your kid. Good luck, Op. Congratulations. While everything might seem dandy now, I highly recommend getting your own lawyer. Get on the birth certificate. Have a custody plan in place. You already missed out on so much, no need to miss out on anything more than you need to. Obviously I don't know her or you, but she already A. Got pregnant with your child and didn't tell you. B. Birthed your child and didn't tell you. C. Had your child in the same room as you and didn't tell you. D. Failed to reach out to you after the party when she knew you were in town and tell you. CYA. She was already prepared to keep you from your son as long as another man was there for her. Kinda shady that she only told you once he was out of the picture. Don't let her take him away from you again, and don't let the rose-tinted glasses distort your view. For your son's sake, I hope your relationship with her stays open and healthy, but plan for the worst just in case shit hits the fan and she changes her mind. You can't be a good father if your son doesn't know you. This is one of those stories that is very hard for me to believe. Yeah, I got nothing. Same. He sees a woman he was sleeping with less than 18 months ago with a baby that's not 12 months yet, but not newborn, and weirdly he doesn't wonder if it might be his baby? Redditors have to suggest it? Seems unlikely. Get lawyer to help with a custody agreement. So everything is legal. Both you, her and child rights are protect. 'Cause way the boyfriend acts.